Stop. Don't sign that contract yet. You might have just signed away a $500,000 house without even knowing it. Every year, thousands of graduates fall into the same trap. They think they're lucky to be hired. But in the world of high-stakes business, gratitude is a liability. It's called the invisible barrier, a psychological wall built on fear that costs you $4,166 every single month for the rest of your life. Think about it. If you accept $60,000 when the budget was $67,000, you didn't just lose $7,000. You lowered the ceiling for every raise, every bonus, and every promotion you'll ever get. Because 5% of $60K is a lot less than 5% of $67K. Over 40 years, that 120 seconds of silence matures into a $500,000 penalty. But here's the part HR is terrified you'll find out. They've already set aside a buffer zone of cash just for you. They're literally waiting for you to ask for it.
They have a script, they've rehearsed their lines, and they're counting on your politeness to save them money. Are you going to be the lead actor in your career or just a spectator in the cheap seats? Stay tuned, because I'm about to give you the exact 3-step script to break their buffer zone and reclaim your wealth. Stop. Look at your paycheck. That's not just money. It's a receipt for a bad deal you didn't even know you signed. To the corporate machine, you aren't an employee. You are a service provider selling a high-value asset. And right now, you're likely selling it at a massive discount. Think about this. If you quit today, it costs your boss up to 9 months of your salary just to find someone half as good as you. That's your leverage. You aren't begging for a favor. You are renegotiating a contract. But wait, it gets worse. Let's look at the butterfly effect that's costing you a fortune. Meet Sarah and Alex, both 22. Same job, same desk. The company offers $50,000.
Alex says yes instantly. Sarah? She spends 5 minutes negotiating and bumps it to $55,000. A tiny $5,000 difference, right? Wrong. HR has a secret they hope you never calculate. The foundation determines the tower. Most raises are capped at 4%. Because Sarah started higher, her 4% raise is mathematically bigger than Alex's every single year. The gap doesn't just stay there, it widens, it snowballs. Add in the 401k match and the rule of 72 compounding interest, and the math becomes terrifying. By the time they retire, that one 5-minute conversation didn't just buy Sarah a better car, it created a $500,000 gap. Alex literally worked the exact same hours as Sarah, but handed a $500,000 gift back to the corporation. Do you want to be Alex? Probably not. Stop leaving your hard-earned money on the table. If you want to bridge the gap between broke and bankrolled, you need a system, not a guess, not a hope, a protocol.
This is the exact 3-pillar blueprint used by Silicon Valley elites to squeeze every possible dollar out of a contract. Pillar 1. Anchor research. Most people look at average salaries. Big mistake. Average is for people who didn't negotiate. You aren't aiming for the 50th percentile. You're hunting for the top 75th. If a junior analyst averages $65,000, your anchor starts at $80,000. Why? Because you just shifted the gravity of the entire room in your favor. Pillar 2. The silence method. This is the hardest part. When the recruiter says, "We can offer you $70K, your brain will scream at you to say thank you. Don't. Shut up. Wait 5 seconds. 5 long seconds. Their pulse will spike. They'll wonder if they offended you. Usually they'll break first. Well, we might have some flexibility. You haven't even argued and you've already won. But what if the budget is a brick wall? Pillar 3. The total comp pivot. If the cash is locked, walk around the wall.
Stop fighting for salary and start taking assets. Extra PTO, a $5,000 relocation check, a guaranteed review in 6 months. These come from different budget buckets and they are much easier to crack open. This turns you from a student asking for a favor into a pro closing a deal. But wait, even this protocol will fail if you fall for the death trap hidden in your very first phone call. Most Gen Z pros get caught in it before the interview even starts. Do you know what it is? So, how do you fix this without looking like an entitled jerk? There is a psychological dead zone in the negotiation room. If you use it correctly, the company will practically beg to pay you more. But if you get the timing wrong, you lose everything. Here is exactly when to stop talking. The recruiter leans in. $62,000. Most people hear that number and make a mistake that costs them thousands. They smile, they say thank you, and they sign. Stop. You just threw a down payment on a car into the trash.
Why? Because you treated an opening bid like a gift. You're not at a birthday party. You're in a commercial transaction. Now, let's look at the 1% move. The recruiter says the same thing, $62,000. But this time, total silence. 1, 2, 3. Your heart is pounding. Your brain is screaming, say something. Don't. That silence isn't awkward. It's leverage. It signals you're calculating market value, not just begging for a job. Usually, they'll crack first. We might have some flexibility, they'll stammer. Boom, you just won without saying a word. But be careful. The pro recruiters, they've seen this before. They'll stare you down, waiting for you to fold. And even if you survive the silence, you're still walking into a trap. Because salary, that's the smallest piece of the puzzle. There was a much bigger total game being played right under your nose. And if you don't know the rules, you've already lost.
The reality is that your career is not just a series of jobs. It is the single most valuable financial asset you will ever own. In the world of investing, we often obsess over a 10% return on a stock portfolio. Yet, for a young professional, a single successful negotiation can yield a 100% or 200% return on the time spent preparing for it. Consider the mathematics of silence. If you accept an initial offer that is just $5,000 below market value and you factor in a standard 3% annual raise over a 35-year career, you aren't just losing $5,000, you are effectively handing back over $500,000 in lifetime earnings to your employers. That is the cost of the invisible barrier. That is the price of being polite. But here is the savage reality check that every Gen Z professional needs to internalize. A corporation is a profit-maximizing machine. Their recruiters and HR managers are measured on their ability to acquire talent at the most efficient price point possible.
They will never volunteer to pay you more than they absolutely have to. They are not your parents, and they are not your friends. They are your business partners, and in business, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. To reclaim that $500,000, you must change your protocol. Before your next interview, do not settle for average data. Research the 75th percentile salary for your specific role and city. That is your new baseline. And when the offer finally arrives, regardless of how much you need the win, never sign the contract on the same day it is offered. The moment you put pen to paper in that room, the game is over and your leverage evaporates. Take the document home. Sleep on the numbers. Let the silence work for you one last time. Wealth is rarely built by those who work the hardest. It is built by those who understand the value of their own time and refuse to leave their future on the table.
If you're ready to stop guessing and start building a foundation of financial freedom, subscribe to Simple Money. Your career is a business. It's time you started running it like one.